All right, hey everyone, and welcome to the Putty Mod YouTube channel. And on the bench today, we have another one of these ND Miata rears. I think this is out of a 2016. It was a boneyard find, and it was in pretty rough condition. It's all cleaned up real nice now. I still have some areas of it taped off, only because I'll probably be touching this up once more before I do final, send out. And what I'm putting it ready to do now is fit the OSGiken Lsd into this case. It's going to require having some of this material removed, as if you have seen this in other videos I've done on this particular build. And so when I do one, I like to freshen up a video so people kind of get an idea what has to be done in order to fit a aftermarket Lsd into one of these ND Miatas. This one is also getting the OSGiken extra capacity oil cover, rear cover gimmick here. You can see, I'll show you what a factory cover looks like later on in the video, but it's quite a bit longer and holds quite a bit more oil than the standard cover does. Stay tuned for some more stuff. Let's get it set up inside here, and we'll get a witness mark as to where we're going to remove this material, and then we'll go from there. Well, here you can see our witness mark. This is rubbing on the inside of the factory case here. So now that we know what we have to take off for material, I'll go ahead and remove the LSD and take out the necessary material so we can put this OSGiken Lsd in here without having any interference. All right, there is the mark right there that the LSD made. And we'll go ahead and remove some of that material. Let me mark it and show you what we're going to be doing here. Hold on. Basically, a zone like that is going to be removed. It's not very much material, but once it's removed, then you have no interference. I'll go ahead and I'll put the LSD back in, make sure our clearance is proper, and I'll put the jig that we have made here on top as well to make sure everything fits as it should. Okay, our little bit of surgery is complete as far as I know. We're going to test fit it and find out. I left a little bit of that black Sharpie line for you guys to see where that material was removed. When you look at this in the car, this is how it would sit. Your ring gear is right here, your LSD. This is just a little bit of material that had to be removed in order for that LSD to clear. And we're going to go ahead and put the LSD in now and see how it works, make sure everything fits properly. And if I have to take any more material out, which I don't believe I do, but we always want to be triple sure that we are correct in having enough clearance. So let me get that LSD in and we'll check it out. All right, I have the LSD set up inside the case here, and I backlit it so you can kind of see. Hopefully I can get it in here on the video. You can see there that we have our clearance that's necessary. And when you look at it from this angle and the way I took that material out, it looks like it was just like that from the factory. It doesn't look like anything has been done to alter the case whatsoever. And since everything is done with radius and very smooth, it doesn't take away from the integrity of the case. It doesn't mess with the structure. It's nothing going to cause an issue that way. So, yep, got beautiful clearance here. All right, we're getting ready to press in the bearing cups now. Here we go. Now, a little further in. There we go. That OCD thing have to be right on the money. All right, here we go. Perfect. All right, we got a good push there. And I'm sure didn't even have to ring the bell. Got it right on out. That's perfect. Great. All right, let me go ahead and flip this around and get the inner bearing cup put in place and move along. All right, this is the inner bearing cup, and these are made in Korea. Mazda has sourced the bearings for this new aluminum differential case out of Korea. So it's no longer a Japanese bearing that is being used in these NDs. Everything is based out of Korea. Just as an FYI to you guys. All right, we're gonna go ahead and bounce this one in, and then we'll press it. There we go. Got a good seat there. And take that out. Add the rest of the pusher to it. And we'll get it into place. Right there. Perfect. Like a glove. There we are. Nicely seated in there, ready to go. Now we'll go ahead and we'll press the bearing onto the pinion and get that set up. All right, we're getting ready to press the bearing onto the NC pinion, which is on the left. On the right, you've got the previous generation of Miata differentials pinion, and I just wanted to give you guys an idea of the differences in the size. You can see the ND is a taller, it's a longer pinion, and the spline count is the same, the thread pitch is the same, but boy, look at the difference in the size of that pinion head. It's massive. It's pretty crazy. Same ring gear though. It's like the 7-inch ring gear is virtually identical to an NC ring gear, but the pinion, way different. Pretty cool. All right, we have our seal into place. We're getting ready to press that in. Our new bearing and slinger washer are also in and lubricated, ready to go. So we'll go ahead and get our pusher and get that right where we need to be. And then we'll push that seal into place. On the pinion seal, dimensionally, the pinion seal is the same as the NC Miata differential. Nothing has changed there. All right, back at the bench, everything's pressed into place. Now we're going to go and put the pinion back into the case. I have a used pinion nut and washer. Pinion nuts are all the same, washers are the same. The flange is basically the same as an NC Miata as well, if you got the automatic, no damper. All right, let me get this put in. No putty mod solid steel sleeve right now, because what we're going to be doing is really just doing a mock-up setup, making sure everything is fitted correctly. All our distances are good, our backlashes are good, you know, our preloads are good on the LSD. Everything looks like it's supposed to be, and then we'll go ahead and adjust as necessary and make our putty mod solid steel sleeve next, so we can get our preload set for our pinion bearings. All right, guys, we have our pinion in, and we have load on here. There is no distance piece or crush tube in here. You can tighten this up on the bench and set it up with a preload without a distance piece. That's easily achieved. As you can see, you know, we got a load on there. All right, let me go ahead and get your ring gear here in. It's OSGiken Lsd that was tuned by Shaftworks in place, and we're going to set up our distance there for our backlash and see how we make out. All right, we are fresh out of the grinder on that shim, and this is where our backlash is now, which is about 4 thousandths. It's consistent around the gear. You want to be between 3 and 4 thousandths. You know, just the book will let you go all the way out to 7.5 thousandths, but I'd rather have it a little on the tighter side. It's just better that way. And as you can see, our pattern is excellent. So we're good on our setup here. Now all we have to do is settle in on that Putty Mod solid steel sleeve, and then we can do final assembly. All right, have the Putty Mod solid steel sleeve all set to go. In and out of the lathe a few times, but it is absolutely perfect now, and we got the torque load that we're looking for. So we have our new nut, our new washer ready to go, and let's get it in. Beautiful. Really, really nice. All right, right now I am fitting out this OSGiken differential cover for the NC Miata. This holds more oil than the factory cover, quite a bit more actually, and it's really, really nice. This is the first time I've come into an issue with one of these, being these journals here for the bearing cups are really, really tight, and they're causing excessive pressure on the bearing cup and, you know, making it, you know, not round anymore, and it's dragging the whole assembly. So I have to take out some material in here, and I wanted to show you some of the progress here. This is a factory shim, and before it went in here, and it was really tight to get it down inside there. In fact, there was quite a bit of aluminum. Every time I went and took this thing apart as I was making my setups, I'd have slivers of aluminum coming out of it every time I set it up. So now we got a really nice fit here, and our bearing cup is the same. It fits in there really nice. It still, you know, has security. It's still, you know, got a little tug to it, which is what you want, but it was excessive. I'm still going to be working on this side. I haven't really started yet, but you can see, let me see, pop that in there. It's really tight, and you can't get it all the way down inside the journal. It's coming up short. So what happens is, as you push down on this cover, you know, you secure your bolts and everything, it's pressing it down inside here, and it's causing that cup to lose its shape. All right, I am finished with the modification to this OSGiken cover, and I wanted to show you guys here how these shims fit now. I can slide them in, no problem. And that's what I want. They had a lot of pressure putting those in, and the same with the cups now. They go in nicely. There's a little bit of, you know, just an ever so slight catch, which is what you want, so you know they're in there and they're nice and snug. And oh, I can't do it on that side because I'm one-handing it. But anyway, you get the message. So the fitment is very nice. It's spot on now. We won't have any issues installing this cover. This is just one of the little glitches you might run into when, you know, building a rear end. Sometimes not everything goes exactly as planned. You'll buy something like this and, you know, out of the box, and most of the time it's going to fit just fine, but every once in a while you'll run into an issue like this, and if you do, then that's when, you know, you're going to have a little bit of experience on how to remedy the problem. My suggestion to you guys doing DIYs, especially if you've got an NC Miata and you want to add this OSGiken cover to it, check your torque on your input flange here before you start. So while your original factory cover, bearing cover cap is on this case, everything's still intact just like it came from the factory. All you did was drain the gear oil out of it before taking it out of the car and starting the process of installing one of these things. Take an inch-pound wand, put it on here, and take a measurement before you start. Once you do that, then you write that down so you have it. go ahead and install your cover. Don't put any sealant on it or anything. Torque it down to specification, and then go ahead and check that number again. If it changes, or if you got drag on this thing, or you hear your backlash and all of a sudden you stop hearing your backlash and then you start hearing your backlash again, then more than likely you've distorted those bearing cups on that LSD, and you're going to have to take that cover off, and you're going to have to work on it. You're going to have to make room for those cups. It's, you know, it's the way it is. If you're not sure about what you're doing or how to handle that, then you're going to have to see a professional. Well, anyway, that's my 2 cents about it, and let me go ahead and get this thing all put together, put the Honda Bond on it, and get everything torqued into place. All right, we're ready to seal this up with some Honda Bond. Just here is your final look before it gets sealed up. We custom ground the shim so we get a better backlash on this. It started out at around 7 thousandths. It had a little bit of wear on it, only 18,000 miles, but it did show some wear, and so we tightened things up, and we're at around 4 thousandths backlash, and that's consistent around the gear on this. And so we got a really good setup. We got our bearing cap bolts here. Our cover bolts are in the back, ready to go, our seals. And let's get it sealed up. Basically what I do is I get everything started. We're getting closer. There we go. Starting to get a little bit of tension now. We actually used the ratchet. There we go, that's done. And I'll go ahead and get these other 2 here started. We have our 4 bearing cap bolts in place. They're started. And then we'll start doing once I get everything down to the in place, then I'll start adding torque with the torque wrench, getting everything dialed in. All right, we're all sealed up. On the bottom of this differential, you got 3 through and throughs here, so you want to make sure that you get Honda Bond on them when you put these 3 cover fasteners into place, so that the threads are filled with a little bit of Honda Bond, and you can have a perfect seal. You don't want any trouble. Same with your bottom bearing cap bolts. They're through and through as well. So you want to make sure that you put Honda Bond on those threads, so that, again, you don't have a potential leak. Make sure everything's sealed up nice. Here is our input flange. We're going to go, and there's our witness mark here, because I wanted to make sure everything is turning, and on my backlash is all consistent all the way around the gear. I don't have any places where there's an area where it's a little tighter than another area. That would indicate that we have still too much pressure on this bearing assembly, and I have already spun it, and it's perfect, and I just wanted to share that with you guys. You can hear that, and there's your witness mark here, and you can see our torque die. All the way around. Nice, no issues. Everything's the same. It's consistent, smooth, there's no hang-ups, and we're in great shape, so I love it. A little extra work, well, a lot of extra work. It really sucked, to tell you the truth. Well, anyway, I'm going to dress this out tomorrow, put the vent in, all the little stickers and decals that this rear end. Oh, it's fun to turn around here one-handed. Hold on, please. All right, I'll edit that out. But I'm gonna, there's little labels and things like this that were on here originally from factory assembly, and I'm probably gonna go ahead and reapply them back onto this rear end, so it looks just like, you know, it did when it was brand new. Our bosses here, I got to put our studs into place, studs on the bottom into place. I got to still put our seals in it. So that's another day. That's a tomorrow day. I did pretty good. It's only a little after 9 now. I just got to clean up. I'll be out of here before 10 o'clock and in the house and relaxing, and you know, getting ready for the next day to be back at it. Well, thanks for watching, guys. I may actually do a little bit more on this when I get it finally fully dressed out. So you can kind of see what it looks like, but if not, you know, I don't think you're missing much. Shop kitty. Is it a good job? Does it look nice? You like it? Let's see if it gets approval. Oh yeah, it got approval. Well, there it is, all finished up. I figured I'd share this little last bit like I was saying earlier in the video. Stickers are on, look pretty cool. These are the original factory stickers that were on here. There's one there. Let me move this stuff out of the way. I put these 2 studs in. The rest of these studs back here and the ones on the bottom I will not put in because they could damage the shipping carton when it gets shipped out. So they'll go, these pieces will go in after the rear arrives where its final destination is. The other sticker here, factory sticker. So basically, just trying to keep it looking like it did when it was new. So that's that. And everything in the back's all done. We got new crush washers here on the drain and fill. This one is on just a little bit, just so that it doesn't come loose or anything in shipping. These are all factory plugged up from OSGiken, so they can be taken out if you're going to use an oil cooler, a temp gauge, or anything like that. That's what these plugs are for. We have our vent installed here. We're all sealed up so we don't get any kind of debris inside. And that's it. That's the finished product. Looks and sounds beautiful. And again, thanks for watching, guys. Please tune in, subscribe, leave comments, and see you on the next one.